Welcome to the Sales Influence Podcast, where we talk about finding the why in how people buy. I'm your host, Victor Antonio. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for lending me those beautiful ears. Today, I want to talk about how the client mindset is changing over time and how you can use it to your advantage if you understand what's happened and where they're at today. Now, let's go back 10 years. Yeah, 10 years. Why not? Let's go back 10 years. Now, 10 years ago, customers were complaining about they needed more content. They wanted more information. More specifically, they wanted to be able to understand what to buy, how to buy, and they needed salespeople to help them guide them through the process. And it was around that time that a book called The Challenger Sale came out, and one of the declarations it made is said that customers are now 57% into the buying journey. In other words, they're more than halfway towards making a decision before they reach out and contact a vendor or supplier like yourself. Now, that was quite shocking to a lot of people that, customers are already forming preferences even before they talk to you. Now, this didn't mean that they didn't need you to make a buying decision. That means they did some research on their own. So 10 years ago, they were 57% into the buying cycle. And around that time, it's worth noting that on average, in a B2B sale, you typically had about 5 decision makers. 5 decision makers to actually sell your wares. Now, let's fast forward a little bit to 5 years ago. Now, 5 years ago, now clients are going, wait a minute. There's so much content out there. Everybody's generating insight. Insight content, as I define it, is information beyond the obvious content. So now, customers were like 60, 70, maybe even 80% into the buying cycle. In other words, they had reviewed more information. There's so much stuff online. And this time now, instead of 5 decision makers, now the average number was like 6.8. Let's just call it 7. Now there were 7 decision makers involved. So in other words, the customers were smarter because they're 60, 70, 80% into the buying cycle. And there are more people involved in making that decision, almost 7 people. Now, let's fast forward again to the present day. Today, customers are not yelling for more information. They're saying, man, stop. There's too much content out there. In fact, they're confused. There's so much good content out there. They're confused. They don't know what's real, what's not real, what's insightful, what's not insightful. And on average, they're now 90% to 95% into the buying cycle, which means they're pretty close to making a buying decision when they reach out to you. And to make matters worse, we went from 5 decision makers to 7 decision makers to now, depending on whose number you believe, there are between 9 and 11 decision makers in a B2B sale. So now they're smarter and there's more people involved, which is why when we sell today, what we have to do, several things, but the big thing we have to do is first, make sure we help customers guide them through the process of making a buying decision. More than ever, your expertise in what you do is more important. In other words, because there's so much content out there, you need to be their Sherpa. Love that word, Sherpa. Their guide, like a mountain guide. You need to be their guide in helping them make a buying decision. That's what customers are looking today for, a guide. Or as the folks over at CEB, now Gartner, said, Brent Adamson really emphasizes sense-making. Sense-making is where you, the salesperson, much like a Sherpa, a guide, you help them make sense of the amount of information, the voluminous amount of information out there. Your job is to say, look, let me hold your hand. Let me walk you through the process. Let me sift through what's good, bad, and help you make a buying decision. So if you want to sell to today's customers, the one thing you can do is really become a domain expert, a subject matter expert in your field. Because once you have that ability, you can help guide, like a Sherpa, your clients to the right decision. Clients are not looking for you to sell them. They're looking for you to help them make a buying decision. So now let's shift gears here and let's go from selling to helping to clarifying to help guiding the customer so they can make a buying decision. If you can do that, you're going to close more deals. And on that note, this is Victor Antonio. Again, love to hear your feedback. Let me know what you think. You can give me some feedback on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, or wherever you're listening. Please let me know your thoughts on this subject. And after you're done doing that, check out the Sales Velocity Academy. We got some great new courses for you to help you sell more faster. Go to salesvelocityacademy.com. And on that note, this is Victor Antonio, always reminding you, selling ain't hard when you guide them and you know how. Take care.
Hi, I'm Victor Antonio. I'm an author, sales trainer, and keynote speaker. I'm often asked, what makes a great speaker? Is it someone who delivers real content that the audience can use? Is it someone who engages the audience so they're part of the learning experience? Or is it someone who can motivate an audience to push them beyond their comfort zone and discover new abilities? The answer is yes. But the most important thing to remember is that I'm not there to look good. I'm there to make my client look good. Simply put, it's never about me, and it's always about them.